Yeah, today's question is, what is the difference between pressure and stress? I mean, if there are two different terms, why are we even discussing it? Yeah, let us see what is the reason for our discussion. Formula for pressure is force by area. Then the units will come out to be Newton per meter square, that is pascals. I mean, let us see the stress. Formula for stress is also a force by area. So units is Newton per meter square, also pascals. Even though the formula is same for both the things, they are completely two different entities. Let us see what is the definition of pressure and stress in reality. Yeah, pressure. It says that it is a force acting on the surface of the wall of the container per unit area. Let us take a container. Let us say, first let us see pressure for fluid, and then we will see pressure for solid. Coming to fluid. In fluids, the molecules arrange themselves in highly randomly way, and there are a lot of spaces between those molecules. So in this container, it contains molecules which are discretely arranged. And what is the definition of the pressure? Force acting on the surface of the wall of the container per unit area. So let us see what is the definition says. So we know that every body has some temperature, because temperature is equal to 0 Kelvin is impossible. So every body possesses some temperature. So whichever body possesses temperature has some energy with it. So when our body has energy, especially in fluids, because of the energy that is present, the molecules will continuously move in highly random model. There is no particular direction in which the molecule moves. Nobody knows what is the direction in which molecules moves. So because of the movement of the molecules, some molecules will go and hit the surface of the container. So the collision force per the area on which the collisions are happening. So this collision force per this area, this area is called pressure. So I think you would understood the definition of pressure. So nobody knows how the molecules moves. So let us say this is our plane of observation. Surface of observation. So at this surface, maybe two molecules will come and hit. Let us say some other surface, and at this point, some 100 molecules are coming and hitting. So for the same area, here just two are hitting, but here there are 100 are hitting. So definitely collision force here will be much less than collision force which is acting upon here. So let us say the pressure acting at this point is P1, P2. P1 and P2 are not equal, but generally in our classes and all will take pressure as common. Why do we do this? Because this pressure is average of all such pressures. So we can say, suppose this is the surface, we take the whole surface area and whole pressure, all the pressure acting on the surface of the body. So that is called F average by area, total area, which gives pressure, P average. So that is P average. The pressure that we are discussing here is average pressure that is acting on the container. So coming to the directionality of the pressure is always acts perpendicular to the surface of the container. So even though it is in this direction, it is in this direction, or it is in this direction, pressure is constant. Pressure generally doesn't vary with direction. So pressure only changes with the magnitude, amount of liquid inside. So pressure is a scalar quantity. Pressure is a scalar quantity. Coming to, just we now discussed about the fluid. Now we'll see what is happening with solid. solid is completely closely packed. I mean, there is no space for the molecules to move. So when a solid body is kept inside a container, there is no collision force. I mean, no molecule is come and hitting the surface. So F collision is 0. That implies pressure is also 0. That's why we don't talk pressure when it comes to solids. Generally, pressure is associated with fluid. Let us see what is stress. Stress is the resistant force offered by the particles per unit area. Let us see this statement in detail. So, in this case, in stress case, first we will discuss about solid phenomena, then we will go to liquids. You know that molecules arrange very tightly. I mean, when a stress has to be developed, there should be equal and opposite force. I'll say, what if this equal and opposite force doesn't exist? We'll come to that again. Let us discuss, about stress first. Let us say this is plane of action. Now, imagine there is another, there are 5 planes, so that we can understand easily better. So due to this force, this force will pull these atoms, and so atoms will go like this. What is happening? Generally here there are 4 molecules. There are molecules, right? So the force of attraction between these molecules, this layer of molecules, and the next layer of molecules will pull the second layer of atoms. At the same time, these molecules will pull these molecules down. So what is this force is doing? It is not allowing the above molecules to move. So the resistance offered by these forces per unit area is called stress. Okay, I think you are clear with the term stress. Stress is generally denoted with sigma. So these molecules will pull these molecules, but at the same time it is the same thing happening in the downside also. Again, so these things will pull the bottom, the immediate surface of the atoms. So generally this is how stress occurs. If you can see closely, the amount of deformation in this layer is more than the amount of deformation in this layer. So it goes like that. So it's the same way here. The amount of deformation here is higher, and here is comparatively low. So if you see, a body like this, the stress that is acting on this surface is different. The stress acting on this surface is different. Let us say this is sigma 2. Let us say this is sigma 3. The stress acting on this surface is sigma 4. If you consider the direction, like let us say this plane, you will get sigma 5. Let us say you consider another plane like this, you will get sigma 6. So at every surface, at every plane, the stresses are different. So the stress here actually varies with magnitude of force, direction and plane of action. So if there is only magnitude and direction, we will call it as vector. But there is another term. So what do we call these kind of term? I mean, these kind of properties are called tensors. So stress is a tensor. I think you will understand all these things. I mean, I'll come to that point where, I mean, what if force is not equal and opposite? Let us say the force here is F2, the force here is F1, or let us say F1 is greater than F2. So the net force on this body will turn out to be F1 minus F2, and there is no real stress acting on the molecules. I mean, the net force comes out to be F1 minus F2, and it will start moving in this direction with acceleration A. So there is no, I mean, restriction that is generating inside the body. So there is no, I mean, here the restriction force is 0. So that implies stress is equal to 0. So let us see another case. Let us say a body is there and a force is acting in downward direction and a force is acting on upward direction. These two will cancel each other, but I mean, even though there are exerting equal and opposite force on this body, it is acting on the same body, same point. So there is no stress that is developed, I mean, force that is restricted by the molecules inside. So that implies F is equal to 0, F restriction force. That implies stress is equal to 0. So whenever there should be any stress, the forces has to be equal and opposite. Also, those forces should act at different points of the body. So let us conclude this one. Let me give you an example. If there is a body, a solid body, and you are exerting a force of F and F, and you put this whole body under atmosphere, in atmosphere. So the fluid that is existed in atmosphere, that is air, exerts a pressure of P atmosphere onto this body. But due to the forces exerted by you, there is stress developed inside the body. So what do we conclude? What do you infer from this? Pressure is an external phenomenon. Stress is an internal phenomenon. So I'll give you a general example. Generalized statements, how we describe pressure and stresses in real life. So if you have a task of 2 days, a professor gave a task of 2 days and he gave only 1 day time to finish it. So what do you say to your friends? That professor has been putting a lot of pressure on me. So this is a case of pressure. Let us say there is a work of 2 days. You have been given 4 days to complete it and you wasted 3 to 3.5 days. So you need to complete 2 days of work within half a day. So what do you say to your friends? I have been under a lot of stress. So you can remember like that. Stress will generate inside. Pressure will be caused due to external forces. So with this, I can conclude. Remember this point. If you doesn't remember all the stuff that we discussed in the above slides, with this example, you can at least get something back. Okay, thank you. Presentation that we just discussed will be kept in the description. You can follow the link and you'll get it. This channel is mainly intended to provide quality questions that are generally asked in mechanical engineering interviews. So, to get more of this content, follow this space. Goodbye.